Hello and welcome to the Week 12 edition of the Wilkes Journal-Patriots High School Football Rundown. I'm Assistant Sports Editor Brandon Moree.
And I'm Sports Editor Zach Colburn.
And we're here to talk about the final week of the 2015 regular season and the championship game in the Blue Ridge Youth Football League. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, we'll talk about the East Wilkes Cardinals completing their perfect season with a 29-0 win against West Wilkes on Friday night in Millers Creek. The win caps off the Cardinals' first undefeated season since 1981 and the first 11-win season in school history. It was also the Cardinals' fifth shutout of the year, which is a school record. It had been 11 seasons since East Wilkes last won in Millers Creek, and it had been 37 since the Cardinals last shut out the Blackhawks. On Friday night, the Blackhawks were the first team all season to hold the Cardinals to less than 300 yards of total offense, but the Cardinals' defense was even more difficult to crack. West Wilkes managed just 131 yards on the night. Offensively, for the Cardinals, Bryce Vestal scored the first touchdown with a 1-yard rush, and later in the second quarter, Vestal found Cayman Bryan for a 16-yard touchdown strike to give East Wilkes a 15-0 lead at halftime. That was Vestal's 7th touchdown pass of the year and Bryan's 3rd touchdown catch. Devin Couch, who ran for 69 yards on 9 carries, scored on a 10-yard run in the third quarter, and Vestal stuck another one in from 1 yard out just before the end of the third. Vestal now has 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. Running back Andrew Nance had 10 carries for 62 yards in the game, which puts him in the 1,000-yard club with teammate Cayman Bryan. Bryan ran for 51 yards on 13 carries. The undefeated record landed the Cardinals the number 1 seed in the 1AA West region bracket that came out on Saturday. They will host South Robson in the first round this week.
Over in Moravian Falls, the Wilkes Central Eagles rebounded from a last-second loss a week ago to East Wilkes to knock off North Wilkes 47-34 in the regular season finale for both teams on Friday night. The Eagles quickly jumped out to a 21-7 lead after one quarter thanks to touchdown runs of 57 and 65 yards from Andrew Bynum and a 62-yard touchdown pass from Dalton Combs to Justin Parsons. The Vikings wouldn't go away quietly thanks to the hard-nosed running of Jarrett Grimes, who had 2 first-half touchdowns and 3 for the game to finish with 213 rushing yards on 44 carries. That performance pushes Grimes over 1,000 yards for the season. Dylan Bogus tied the game at 21 just before halftime with a 4-yard run and connected with Christian Church on the 2-point conversion. The Vikings took the lead 34-27 with just over 9 minutes remaining in the game on a 39-yard touchdown pass from Bogus to Gavin Huffman, but Bynum put any ideas of a senior night upset to bed with 3 touchdown runs and a 2-point conversion run in the final 8:46. Bynum finished with a game-high 339 yards and 5 touchdowns on 20 carries. That's a whopping 16.95 yards per carry. He ends the regular season with 2,388 yards and 33 touchdowns. The Eagles, who conclude the regular season at 9-2 overall and 5-2 in the Mountain Valley Athletic Conference, also got 129 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air from Dalton Combs on just 5 passes, 3 of them going to wide receiver Josiah Ferguson, who also recorded his first touchdown catch of the fall. Bogus also completed 5 passes on the game for 127 yards and 1 touchdown, and also had a rushing touchdown. The Vikings end the year at 1-10.
In middle school action, the West Wilkes Middle School Knights won the middle school championship on Saturday afternoon in Ronda as they beat Allegheny 16-14. Wyatt Whitworth scored both touchdowns for the Knights, the first coming on a 47-yard rush, and the second coming right before halftime to give the Knights a 16-0 lead at the break. On the first play of the fourth quarter, the Trojans scored their first touchdown of the game, but Jackson Jarvis came up with a huge tackle for loss on the 2-point conversion attempt to keep the Knights ahead by 10. Allegheny scored again after recovering an onside kick and converted the 2-point play to draw within 2 points. Later in the fourth, the Knights fumbled the ball, cracking the door back open for the Trojans, but a sack from West Wilkes' Dallas Rash slammed that door shut. The win for West Wilkes means that a Wilkes County team has won the Briffle Middle School Championship 4 years in a row. Central Wilkes won in 2012, and East Wilkes won back-to-back in 2013 and 14.
While the middle school season is over, the high school season is really starting to heat up as the playoffs begin this week. East Wilkes, as Brandon mentioned earlier, will host South Robson in the first round this Friday night. Wilkes Central earned the number 7 seed in the 2AA playoffs and will host number 10 Newton Conover, who is 6-5 on the year. West Wilkes will make their first appearance in the playoffs since 2012 and their first appearance as a 2A team in 13 years on Friday when they travel to number 1 seed Shelby, who is 10-1 in the year and is defending state champs. The Blackhawks were slated as number 16 seed in the 2A West.
As always, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WJP_sports. And this has been the Week 12 edition of the Wilkes Journal-Patriots High School Football Rundown. We'll see you on Friday night.